Hey friend, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothes, I list them on eBay and Poshmark, and hopefully sell them for a profit. Today is Monday, February 24th. I am shipping out the items that I sold over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 days of sales, 4 items. Not good at all. My gross sales amount was $85.89. It was rough. Abysmal. That was the word that came to mind. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. So this is a Fossil purse. Well, it said Fossil on the button there, but I don't know if it was gonna focus real well. I'm real excited for the weather to warm up so I can open my big garage door every day and have some nice natural sunshine. This I bought over a year ago, and a year ago Fossil was selling pretty well for me. I didn't find it a lot, but when I did, it sold. This one not so much. And I was curious this morning. So first of all, let me tell you that it's a Fossil canvas purse, and just looking up those words in the eBay product research tool, the average sale price is $22.58 with a 6% sell-through rate. I don't know if the sell-through rate was better a year ago, but I was thinking as I was doing this, I was like, I wonder if it wasn't as good because it wasn't leather. And I looked up leather and it was only like an 8 or 9% sell-through rate. I did add the keyword Y2K to leather canvas, Fossil canvas purse. And that did increase the sell-through rate to 10%, but that is still not good. That's just not good at all. So I sold this really low, $15.17. With shipping, they paid a total of $21.38. I've had it for a year, like I said. I bought it at the bins, the Goodwill outlet where you pay by the pound. I average my cost of goods at the bins as $2 per piece, and my profit is $10.82. You think that's bad? Maybe you think that's good, and that's okay. I aim for $15 in profit per item just to value my time. I don't always hit that. In fact, I think my average is like $12 to $13 in profit per item. But this is worse. These are a pair of hydraulic, that's the brand, hydraulic. Here's the label. There's a bunch of different labels, I think. This is a Gramercy. I didn't look up that particular keyword style name or anything when I was doing the comps. I just looked up hydraulic jean shorts, okay? The average sale price was $11.59 with a 7% sell-through rate. Why did I buy these? Well, similar to the Fossil purse, a year ago when I bought this, I listed it 10 months ago, but I know I bought it a year ago, actually at the same bin strip that I found the Fossil purse. I know that because I have labels in Vendu, and I had labeled a specific trip, and that's why. It actually was in a haul that I did a year ago. So if you want to go back and look at a really old bins haul, it was on President's Day last year. Anyway, when the sell-through rate is that low, I will price pretty low. I think I had these priced at around $12 to $13, and they sold for $9.57. $16.51 was what they paid with shipping. I paid again $2 at the bins, and my profit is $5.92. Again, I started to say earlier, when I bought these a year ago, I had sold quite a few hydraulic brand, like jeans, a jean skirt, I think jean shorts, just some denim, and all for like probably $15, not not very much, but I think sometimes when I have experience with something and it moves pretty quickly, then I'm more willing to buy something that might have a lower sell-through rate. And then this one just didn't sell for whatever reason. I don't have any more hydraulic in my stores, and I don't intend to. That is not something that I'm looking to buy at all. All right, this is this is what I was going to ask about, I think. Sometimes as I'm doing like my labels, I'll be like, oh, I can ask that question. And then I get out here and I forget. So this is just a flannel, very basic. This is the brand Wells Lamont. And I was just like looking at that tag, looks interesting. And then it's branded on the outside pretty well. And I just made a weird noise, I'm sorry. If you heard it. It's kind of a snort, not really sure. We all make noise. I was talking to a friend over the weekend about how we all make noises. Like literally every single one of us makes noises, but somehow it's still embarrassing. I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway. I looked this up. I don't remember if I looked it up while I was thrifting. Maybe I just bought it because sometimes when I'm buying things at the bins or at my favorite thrift stores where my cost of goods is pretty low, I will just take chances because my cost of goods is low, and so I'm willing to risk that. I don't know that I would recommend that, especially if you're starting out, but I don't remember if I looked this up is what I'm trying to say. I did buy this at the bins, but it's only been listed for a week. And I haven't been to the bins since before Christmas, so I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. When I went to the bins in December, I went a couple different times. I just kind of got backlogged, and I finally, this week, got everything of that haul listed. So I'm really excited. I shouldn't say everything. I think I still have a couple things in drafts to list today and tomorrow, which is good. And then I just don't have a backlog anymore. I don't like to keep a death pile per se because I don't have space for it. Two, I think it stresses me out. Like even when I have a backlog, it stresses me out. So I try not to get too far behind. And if I am far behind, I will not thrift for a while just to save my sanity, to save my space. Okay, so Wells Lamont flannel has an average sale price of $21 and 11% sell-through rate. Not good. So I don't know. I don't know what I saw, or maybe I just chose to not look that up. But when something has a low sell-through rate like that, again, I think I've already said that today, that I will list kind of low and still take offers or send offers, or I have a coupon on eBay. So I didn't list it for $20, and then I sent out 20% off offers on Poshmark using Prime Lister, which is what I use to share and automatically send offers. And so someone accepted my 16% off offer. It was only listed for a week. And so that sometimes makes me wonder if I did something wrong, if it sells pretty quickly, especially with a low sell-through rate. Like, did I miss something? Was there a special, color that maybe was more popular or more sought after or whatever? And I don't really think that was the case. I think this just was kind of luck of the draw. But I have had people ask, like, hey, do you list differently on Poshmark? And I really don't. There are a couple exceptions. One exception is if something is under $15, I will often up the price to $20 just because of the fee structure. They charge higher fees. I saw someone recently say that that doesn't bother them, and that's fine. If it doesn't bother you, cool, go for it. But it bothers me. So I just choose to not really list anything under $20. I will take lower offers sometimes, depending on the item, how much I paid for it, how long I've had it. But I try not to make that a habit on Poshmark. But I'm curious if you structure your fees differently, or do you, this was what I was thinking is, I wonder, I know sometimes the comps are different on different platforms. I only comp on eBay, and then I just cross list using Vendu my whole listing, price and all, onto Poshmark. And I don't comp on Poshmark ever, but I do know that sometimes comps would be different. Okay, I think I just said that 3 times in 3 different ways, but I'm curious if you, one, price differently for Poshmark than eBay if you are a cross lister, and do you comp on both platforms? That's my question. In fact, let's call that the question of the day, because I was not with it and did not get a question of the day together around. Sometimes I'm really good at prepping for that, and sometimes I'm not. This is a vintage vest. It is, I guess it's not reversible. I was thinking it was reversible, but Willy Wear, don't know. Willy Wear Sport. It is made in India. It is wool, if I remember correctly. Does it say in the back, in the pockets? Maybe I just thought it, no, here it is. Da-da-da. Yeah. 70% wool, 20% nylon, 8% other. What do we think other means? So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work on this, just pull off some of the fuzzies. I'm not gonna worry about it too much, honestly. But I will tell you, this was my best sale of the weekend. It still wasn't that great. So this was kind of in opposition to comps. So the average sale price, and I looked up specifically Willy Wear wool vest Sherpa. That's what I looked up. And the average sale price was $15 with a 33% sell-through rate. There was only one sold, and it sold for $15. I had mine listed for $40. And I think what I did, it's been a few months. It was listed for 3 months. I think what I did was took out the brand name and just went with vintage wool vest Sherpa lines. Okay. And maybe I should have done that for you today. I'm sorry. I try to think through all the things, but I don't always think through all the things. So it would actually be nice if I knew what that comp was. I've said comps quite a few times, and in the last few videos, a few people have asked what I've meant about comps. So if you don't know, first of all, that's okay. We can't all know all the things. But if you don't know, I do have a video linked in the description that walks through what comps are, and then 3 different ways to look them up. So if that is something that is curious to you, that's probably not the way to say that. If that's something that's interesting to you, or you're curious about, there we go. That's a better way to say that. Then feel free to check out that video. Hopefully it will be helpful to you. And yeah, so I had priced this at $40, sent out 20% off offers. Someone accepted my $32 offer. And I'm super happy about that. It's sold on Poshmark. Man, it's just a rough weekend. So this sold in 3 months. I only paid 70 cents for it at my favorite thrift store, where my cost of goods is, again, very low. I probably did not do comps. Probably just bought it. In fact, I could almost guarantee that that's the case. I really don't like lint rollers. I can hear some people yelling at me, use a lint roller. Don't just pick at your thing. I've tried every single lint roller on the market, it feels like. I really would love a reusable lint roller that actually worked, but I really don't think that exists. Somebody told me to try the IKEA lint rollers, and that's actually what I used on the flannel, and I felt like that did a little bit better. So I had bought one for my husband when we were there the last time. So I just snagged it from him because they're pretty cheap. Anyway, we'll see. This hopefully is gonna be okay. Yeah. All right, so with my 70-cent cost of goods, my profit on this is $24.90. So my total profit for the 3-day weekend, because I didn't ship on Saturday, I usually do, but I didn't, was a whopping $52.44. Now, I realize for some people that might sound great, and that's good. If it sounds great to you, and if you sell $52 and that's over a weekend and you're excited about that, then you should be excited about that. I'm not telling you to not. I'm telling you that for me, that doesn't hit my goal. And so I'm frustrated about that. I know that I was talking to one of my good friends who's also, she's like a hobby reseller, and she always asks me how I'm doing. And we got together on Friday, and I had just gone thrifting. If you saw that thrift haul on Saturday, I had just picked up those things, and she was like, she goes to that thrift store with me often, or she'll go on her own. And she was like, hey, how have you been recently? Have you found anything good? So I was telling her about the Peter Millar and everything, and she was like, man, I sold like $100 this month, and that was really good for her. Like $100 is great for their family. An extra $100 helps them so much, and that's fantastic. So I think everybody is, I say this all the time, we're all different. We have different circumstances, we have different needs. Maybe you need to provide a full living for your family. I get that. So your goals are going to be different than mine. Currently, I haven't fixed my camera yet, and I can see it just waving all over the place. So if it's a little rocky, I apologize. I'm so sorry. One of my goals today is to get that secured and get it fixed. So here we go. What I was trying to say was my goal is $67 a day for $2,000 a month, and actually I need to increase that because my husband and I have kind of changed some of our financial goals. And so we are wanting to save for some other things, and that involves me making a little bit more money. So I've already started adjusting my listing, and I don't know. We'll see if that helps. Since I think about Thanksgiving, maybe even a little before, I was only listing about 5 items a day. And oh my word, I'm so sorry. You're like sitting on top of boxes, and I wish I could show you because it's absolutely ridiculous. There's a piece of tape like on the edge of my phone strapped to the shelf behind it, so it like holds it upright, but you're like on a stack of boxes so you can't be up high enough. Oh my word, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm very professional around here. Okay, and now once again I've forgotten what I was saying. I was talking about my goal, $2,000 a month. We're trying to save for some other things that involves listing. So I've increased my listing to, I'm trying to get to 8, but I've done about 7 a day for the past week. However, when I increase my listings, that means I need to have more inventory, which means I need to source more. So right now I have a plan. That I will be thrifting on Tuesday nights when my new favorite thrift store is open, and then Friday mornings when my old favorite thrift store is open. And I will be doing my very best to do those weekly. So I'm hitting each one of them once a week. That's my plan right now. We'll see. when I went on Friday, I only found like, I think 17 items. That's not good enough. That's not enough things. So I will probably hit up, there's a local thrift that does a half off sale once a month. I think it's the 4th Friday of the month. So that would be this Friday. So I might hit that up once a month. And then I do have a binge trip planned in March on one day. So usually also my mom and my sister and I thrift together and have like brunch and hang out together one day in like March or April for our birthdays. And so hopefully we will be doing that. Mom, get on that. You know I'm not good at the planning part. Excuse my cough. I'm still have that darn cough from the flu. It's been like 3 weeks. Frustrating. Okay, so I wanted to wrap this up by saying I was real frustrated about my $52 weekend. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I encourage you to do, right? I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to look at the big picture. And I'll be honest with you, looking at the big picture wasn't that much more encouraging, but it was a little bit. So what I did was I went in and I looked at my month to date. What did I actually make over the course of the month so far? Unfortunately, we only have like 4 more days left in the month. And I told my husband, because Alex was in there talking to me about it this morning before he left for work. And I was like, I'm going to be like $400 short of my goal this month. And he was like, that's okay. That's okay. And it is okay. This is like, I've said this multiple times. This is extra money for our family. It's important money, but it's extra money for our family. I did not thrift much in January. And so my expenses were not very high. I don't think. I haven't actually gone and I'm sorry, February. It's February, not January. My expenses aren't quite as high, so I can put some money that I would normally put as expenses for my business, I can put into our household budget. And so it should work out okay. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So when I took a step back, and even though I'm still going to be short, in my mind, I was like, I'm not making anything this month. It's been terrible. Like I had a good couple of days last week, but prior to that, February has been horrid. and I hear lots of resellers saying that, and it makes sense. The nation is kind of in a little bit of turmoil right now. Everyone is really scared. Eggs are a stupid amount of money. And, you know, I think for me, there's a lot of like security in the price of eggs. Doesn't that sounds kind of weird, but I think it makes sense. I think just people aren't spending their extra money right now. And that's, I mean, like I said, Alex and I made another financial goal. I think other people are doing the same thing in evaluating what they're spending their money on, how they're saving their money, just things like that. I think people are just kind of tightening down, and that absolutely makes sense. February also last year was one of my lower months. So that also kind of correlates, right? If February was a little bit lower last year, it's probably going to be a little lower this year. And then because of just the uncertainty, I think is a good word. I think that a lot of people are just not buying as much. And so that's going to make it a little bit lower as well. I don't know. Do you have a thought? Do you have an opinion? Do you want to weigh in? I would love to hear it. I really would. I am going to stop yapping though, because I really need to go cough again, and I don't want to do that in front of you. So make sure you like the video. If you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate hanging out with you. It is a bright spot in my day in the middle of this uncertainty. I know that I have this community. Sometimes when people say that on YouTube, I'm like, really? But that's the way it feels to me. So I understand maybe why they're saying it, because maybe that feels like their community to them too. So I especially enjoy, you know, talking in the comments, and yeah, anyway, I just appreciate you. That's all I'm trying to say. I'll see you soon.